We began this manufacturing phase with a halfway completed frame, and we decided that a reasonable benchmark would be to get a rolling chassis because we thought that we could just stick a couple of wheels on and it would be quick and easy. So the audience will know that we have accomplished our benchmark when we show them a rolling chassis. And now I'm going to show you the steps we took to get to that point. So we had cut out this piece of 3/4 inch tube stock and welded it. So we decided that our first thing we wanted to do was complete our frame. So we spent about a class period figuring out what lengths we wanted these little supports to be and then welding them together. But then we realized that our top thing wasn't the correct length, so we had to kind of weld it at an angle. So that was kind of difficult. So the next thing we decided to work on was our suspension. So we drew out what we wanted it to be, and then what we did was we cut out all the pieces, but then we realized that we couldn't get the correct angle using the bandsaw, so I had to hacksaw that out. And then in order to attach these pieces to our HPV, we would have to make hinges. So we took some 5/8 inch cold rolled steel and we stuck it in a lathe, and then we took drill bits of increasingly larger size to the center of it to try and make a hole large enough so we could stick bolts through it in order to have rotation. And then next we drilled out the tube stock, making 5/8 inch holes with a 5/8 inch bit, and this was so it would be easier to attach them. And then once we drilled out a couple of holes, we cut it off into equal length segments, which you can see here. We are going to weld onto the 5/8 inch that we drilled out. So I welded it on, and then our results were decent. The welds weren't the greatest welds because it was kind of difficult, but we grounded them down. And then next we wanted to get a more noticeable jump on our HPV. So what we did was we cut out the big pipe that we had to keep our bushings aligned, and we got 2 bushings in our thing. So we got 2 bearings, and then we were going to hydraulic press them in, but then we realized it would be easier and less damaging to the bearings if we just hammered them in, so we used rubber mallets and sledgehammers. And then we took a piece of 5/8 inch cold rolled steel and stuck it through the back, and this will later act as our axle. And then as you can see here, it rolls pretty nicely, so we are happy with what we have so far. And the reason why we didn't complete our task of rolling chassis was because we did not understand the steps we would need to take in order to get all 4 wheels on and all 4 of them rolling, because as I said earlier, we expected to just be able to weld some wheels onto some axles and bam, rolling chassis. But what we found was that we needed to fully complete our suspension in order to get the front wheels able to roll, and we needed to complete our differential to get the back wheels to roll. So in our next progress period, we will probably finish our suspension, and we will hopefully get our differential worked on some, and maybe we'll have a rolling chassis then. Find out next time.